Yeah, dude. So NYCC, my first experience, not in New York, but for the con. I've been in New York a bunch of times, but for the con, and I've been to San Diego multiple times. So this is kind of like the last, I guess, outside of C2E2. So one big cons I haven't been to, and yeah, man, it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. I guess it felt a
Mhm.
little. How do I granted, I only went Thursday and Friday this show, and I didn't go Saturday, which of course is gonna be like the mayhem day, right? But
Cosplay. You get the cosplay, you get the panels, you get the
yeah,
celebrities, like, that's really
and
the
just people as well
yeah, and
too.
the people obviously, yes, the people too.
Yeah. It's I don't know how to explain it in reference to like San Diego. Did I feel like hmm I felt like San Diego's more crowded. Um and leading up to it, it's different with New York and San Diego. If people go to San Diego and people have been to New York, like walking into the con is different. Like San Diego starts blocks before you get there, like
Mhm.
straight up. Like they like block off roads. There's and I kind of saw it a little bit, but there's like straight up like advertisements for movies and stuff, and like on the corners and stuff. Like there's a lead up to San Diego where like you're walking up like a block or two before, and that's pretty much the con as well. Where New York
Mhm.
is still like that busy ass street right there, like right
Yeah.
at the doorstep. Um, but yeah, dude, I mean, it was cool. It's what you expect from like one of the big two cons, right? Like low comic books, um, lots more pop culture. And you'd kind of explained it to me like the three story. I didn't even go up to the third floor ever, but I did kind of like the split up from Artist Alley, even though, like you said, it takes a you're walking around a ton, but it
Mhm.
kind of like made it a little bit more accessible, I think. So that was cool. I liked it down there as well.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely changed. Even out front, like, where they had I'm sure you kinda saw, like, where they had the food trucks.
yeah,
They used to have, like, big setups there, years ago, they would have different pop culture stuff, like entertainment things to go and do, like, you'd wait in line and you'd walk in, and then
yeah,
even, like, directly across the street, they before they started building up some of the buildings there, they definitely had things that you could do,
hmm,
but I think they kinda got in trouble because it was just too crowded on that main road. I think people also complained that there was not enough places to eat, so that's why they kinda had the food trucks and stuff underneath. I know you
that
didn't
makes
really get to see
sense.
that either.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I hung out there and was drinking beers for quite a
Oh,
while, like
okay.
on
So,
Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've never really been up to the 3rd floor, so I don't even know what the hell's up there.
is that where you get tickets? Is that where like Will calls at and everything?
Oh, I know what you're just talking like that. Yeah, I know. There's, like, an upstairs to like, when you walked out of the showroom floor and then you went down the escalator, instead of going
Mhm.
all the way down to, like, the panels and Artist Alley and stuff, if you walked to the left,
Okay.
there's actually, like, escalators that go up higher.
Yeah, yeah. I saw
I
him.
don't
Yeah.
really know where that sends you to. Maybe, like, VIP area or, like, I don't know. I've never really been up that way. Maybe
Huh.
food. I really don't know. I've never been up that high in Javits Center.
Interesting. But yeah, it was cool, man. Like, I mean, you know, you were busy doing all your
Oh,
stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like I've always said, I really am only going to hang out with people. So it's fun to like kind of you go in, you bop around, you say hi to all the people that we knew at like their booths and their vending and different stuff, and then down at Artist Alley. And then for me, it was like, okay, let's dip out and go grab some beers and some food. But you had some adventures too. You were, dude, going to a con with Justin. Let me talk about this with you. If you're like me too, where you're not super interested in like what's occurring at the con, it's a lot of standing around with Justin as he goes to like 14 different places in like Artist Alley. Like, oh, hold on, I gotta go two booths over and talk to this guy for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go stand here. So, luckily there's booze, so that helps, and other people, Anthony being with me to talk, that helped for
yeah.
sure. But, yeah, that was fun, man. I had a really good time. I had a really, really good time.
That's good.
Um,
Yeah,
so
it's different for you and me,
yeah,
obviously it's something different uh, for you because you've been to San Diego. I've never been there. I'm sure other
yeah.
people have, vending wise and everything like that. So it's completely
It's
different. I
pretty
get that.
similar, I thought. I
Yeah.
would say it's pretty similar,
Okay.
with, like, what's available and everything.
Okay.
Um, maybe it's a little different because I feel like now I have a more I know more people who are vendors on the East Coast than I do on like the West Coast now. They're set up at like the big ones. So Yeah, I know a lot of people still travel out there, like Reese's, they go out there, for San Diego and everything too, but I'm not sure I can think of, like, the top of my head, like, big vendors out there besides, like, these guys, I guess.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
but
it's interesting, and I had this conversation with someone today. You get all the big names like Spectral Comics, Unknown Comics, shit, Comic Mint, KRS,
BTC, big
yeah, Big
time,
Time Collectibles. Our friends at Bird City,
of
and
course.
they always set up all those people just set up with exclusives. Then you have the kind of like the OGs. There's a lot of OGs in the New York Comic Con area. So like, Absolute Comics, Harley Lee, um, Victory Comics. Like, there's a couple other people that have been there many, many years. Like, they get the same booth every year. There's no questions about it. Reed Pop knows what's up. They're in that market. You
Mhm.
really don't see too many other new people unless like somebody completely bows out or kind of sets up their table with somebody.
Gary kinda
It's
broke in past couple of years. Yeah,
yeah,
Gary's
he's
kinda
gotten
becoming a
lucky.
staple.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten lucky. He's been able to get in there and get a huge area. Obviously, that's a big thing. So, but yeah, man, it's definitely interesting. The fact that I thought about this. It's like we didn't roll in until like quarter after one, maybe
She
1:32 on
maybe.
Thursday,
Yeah, that's early probably, yeah.
and I stayed there till 7.
Mhm.
Uh, Friday got in at like 10, and I was out by 3 because I know I was out by 3 because when we met up with Nate, that was at like 3 o'clock. So
Yeah.
to be honest, this year alone was probably my least amount that I've ever spent at New York Comic Con. Like,
Mhm.
it's wild to think about that. And I tried to do a lot on Thursday, knowing that, you only had 2 days, and I definitely wasn't coming back on Saturday. And I figured maybe if anything, I'd go back on Sunday, which, you know, it's so funny. Like, sidetrack, I came home on Saturday and my wife's like, "Oh, are you going to go back on Sunday?" I was like, "Ah, I don't know." She's like, "How are you going to feel about that?" And I was like, part of me was like jonesing to like, oh, I don't want to go back. I want to go back. I got to get that drug, right? Because it's like, yo, it's the last con of the year. This is it. New York
Right.
Comic Con's it. But I figured, man, after Terrificon, Baltimore, and this, like, I'm kind of tapped out of just like knowing that I can't buy stuff, right? Like knowing that I can't go digging into boxes. Plus, it's like New York is not the place to be digging into boxes. New York is the place to wait in lines, buy exclusives, see shit. And realistically, like for me, it's the artist alley stuff. Like
Yeah.
you get to see the premier, you know, creme de la creme of artists in artist alley. So you get to really see some just amazing original art. And that's kind of where my collecting has gone for the most
Mhm.
part, right? So,
Yeah.
um, it's just weird, man. It was a different con for me. I brought money. I didn't spend it, which was good. Yeah, I bought some stuff, bought some OA. Shit, it was fun.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just weird. Like it was a different New York Comic Con. I will say this that I haven't been to a New York Comic Con where I was walking around with someone in many, many years. So to have you just to like
Mm.
walk around with you
Yeah.
is different for me. I've even said this to my wife. My wife was just like, "Oh, he was with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, he was, Zach was with me for most of the time." She's like, "Oh, did he get into your way?" And that's the thing. That's
I'm
why I
probably
said,
the best person to have walk around with you because I have, like, no desire to go d if anything, I'm just like, "Cool, dude, as long as there's a bar, like, real close right there, I'll just go grab a beer or something," but
yeah.
I don't really have anything I wanna see necessarily. I'm easy.
And I love the fact that we were able to just walk around Artist Alley, and we'd have like a drink in hand, or
Yeah.
we'd be walking the floor with like alcoholic beverages. And
Yeah.
if I wanted to look at something, I would put it far away so it wouldn't drop on anything, or be like, "Hey, hold this for a sec." Um, yeah, overall, it was a good show. I posted it on our Instagram. The New York News did a Channel 7 News over here did a
Spotlight on
um
us.
yeah, well, guess that's what we'll call it.
Yeah, it was a
Y-
spotlight on us, but just happened to also get some New York Comic Con stuff. Yeah, there we are, right there.
Yeah, so
And that's about what it was like at every yeah, obviously I'm talking like these people listening can see it, but that's about how it was at every booth with Justin. Up at the booth, me standing in the back, and like
yeah.
Anthony when he was hanging out was with me also.
So I posted it, and I'm standing next to Jorge Corona. great artists, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ain't No
Fabulous.
Grave, Transformers, just to name a few, just to name drop a few books, right? Um, and there's this guy who's standing next to me, and it's probably like 10 minutes. And I'm just like, I really want to ask Jorge about some prices on some OA. And not once, not twice, but 3 times I got stuck next to this kid at different parts between Thursday and Friday of this is how do I want to put this? An aspiring artist. And he
Mhm.
was walking around with his portfolio to show all the artists. So, like I gave him his time, but at some point you kind of want to be like, time is money, right? Like
Yeah.
he's just like talking to him and they're going back and forth. And I'm like, yo. And so like there's a clip online where I'm standing there and then all of a sudden they cut it and then they go to another close up of me and I'm looking at the camera and I almost have like this disgust.
It's like an eye roll for the camera. Is
Yeah,
what it looks
it's
like.
totally an eye roll. And I'm like, ugh, like
Yeah.
like just get this over with, man.
You're
And I
looking at this
actually
dude like, wrap it up, dude. Wrap it up.
I literally had to ask him. I was like, hey, okay, I was like, hey, I want to ask you about this. He's like, yeah, give me a second. And I was like, okay, like, because I got things to do. Like, I want to walk around the con. That's fine that this kid's going to be here for 4 days, or at least, I saw him Thursday and Friday. So, like, let's keep it moving. Let's go. Let's go. And so I thought that was interesting. And that was funny that you, me, and Ant are all on the Channel 7 real quick
That's
for like
awesome.
3 seconds on the Channel 7 news for New York Comic Con
That's
kickoff at the Javits Center.
That's how you know you made it as an influencer, dude. That's how you know.
Yeah. Hey, at least we well, here's the best thing. The fact that our friends saw that video and picked us out.
Yeah, right.
That is, it's like not even us. It's like,
I never
yo,
would have known that occurred.
yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a great con. I picked up some stuff, but yeah, I think hanging out with everybody, um, Thursday night, Friday night,
Yeah.
if we could have stayed a Saturday, we would have hung out with more people, went out to dinner, more drinking. Just
Yeah.
it would have definitely been a lot more fun, I would say. I mean, it was fun. Shit, Friday night was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cannot say that without, people that we hung out with was an absolute blast. So
Yeah. So should I tell my one pickup story?
oh yeah, you could definitely tell. Yeah, your non-book. No, this guy walks around a convention with no book bag and a t-shirt and jeans on all day.
Yeah. So Thursday. Well, okay. So first off, some backstory, I guess. So if you guys been listening to the con for a while, or the podcast for a while, I'm a big Charles Soule fan, and I'm a big fan of the Shrouded College stuff, both Hell to Pay and Bloody Dozen. And I probably have talked about this before on episodes, but with I think it's the 1 in 50. The 1 in 50 issue that comes out, you can get for number 1 for both those 2 series. It comes with like a commemorative coin, so to speak. And so Charles Soule had said, if you show up to a con with the coin, you can play a game with him. So you take the coin and you bet the coin, kind of. So he brings out a dice. In this case, he didn't have a dice. He just used like a number generator on his phone. And if you roll a 1, you get some OA, I think from like the book or the title. If you roll a 2, 3, 4, or 5, you keep your coin. If you roll a 6, he takes your coin and you don't get it back. So I had these 2 coins for both Bloody Dozen and Hell to Pay, and I meant to bring him to Terrificon because he was going to be there. And I totally forgot, and it pissed me off like that I forgot him. And so checked Baltimore. He didn't go to Baltimore, so I was like, okay. And then as New York was coming up, I was like, okay, he's going to be there. I'm bringing these coins. I'm doing it. So Thursday we got there, roll up. His booth was empty. It was just us. And like you said, it was probably like 3 or so. It was pretty early on when we 1st got there. And I went up there and I was like, hey, here we go. Both coins. He's like, oh, you want to do both? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's let it roll. Right. So brings it out. First one rolls like a 4 or 5. So I get to keep my coin. The second one, boom, rolls a 1 and I win some OA. So he's like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, do you remember he said like 3 people maybe have won OA? It was a low number. And then he said only one person, he's only ever had to take one person's coin. And he was like, I felt really bad about it. He was like, I took it. And he's like, I felt really bad. He's like, I kind of wanted to give it back. And I was like, no, man, those are the rules. Like that's the risk you take. So,
oh yeah.
I was really cool. I was pumped about that. So I got to keep my coins and got some OA on the way.